What's happening, guys? God, me and Danny are absolutely shattered. We've been working around the clock, obviously trying to get this move going. Some really good news actually. We've set up a one-to-one with me mental health talks, which is in the link on my Instagram bio. I'm absolutely buzzing about that. So there's a little drop form on there. You can book your appointments, and it gives you got to give a little bit of background history. That gives me a little chance to read it before we go into action with each other, and basically I can get a little bit of a brief history about you before we get into our chat, and then together we can come up with a plan for the future in order for a positive outcome and a big change in your life. So that's really good. Obviously I'm still working at the moment. This is potentially one of my last days with the company, because we're actually closing the company because of the move. For those of you who don't know, we're moving to Peru. There's a bit of a reality check this morning. I was looking at the calendar, and we're potentially moving in less than 8 weeks, if things go our way, which is pretty mental, to be honest. Lots of mixed emotions. Obviously, it's literally the other side of the world. Hugely excited in many ways. Obviously, there's a few bits that they're concerns, but everyone has them. Obviously, money's one, because we need a form of income, but I've got several ideas for that. Why are we moving? Well, Danny's African by birth, from Zimbabwe. She came to this country pretty much as a refugee during the Mugabe regime, when she was 8 years old. She's never really seen it as home. I'll be honest, I loved growing up in the south of England. Wouldn't say I had the best childhood, but I had a good childhood, and I was very passionate about this country for a long time. But since leaving the military, I never really settled back in. I've been very happy for several years. I absolutely love my family. By that I mean my household, and my wider family. But we don't talk too much. It's just not for me. I think once you've had that kind of lifestyle, it's very hard to just sit down and roll with it. And we both still want that big adventure, which we know we can have, and I believe there's more to life than what this is now. I mean, the company itself, mine and Danny's company, has done well the last year since it's been running, but I've actually been working loads more, and I can just see myself falling into the trap of working so many hours. I use my dad as an example. I absolutely respect him. He's an absolute workhorse, and he always has been. But he might have as well been in the military when I was growing up, because he was away that much. Late nights, Saturdays. I want to be there. I want to be there for my children. I want to be with them when they grow up, as they grow up. The best memories I have of my dad, we used to go camping, wild camping every year, and we used to just pitch up in farmers' fields and things like that, or in the woods, and we used to have our backpacks, our rucksacks, Bergens, whatever you want to call it. I was doing that from about the age of 11, and I absolutely loved it. But when I work out how long we actually spent together, and I know that's his best memories of me as well, there's less than 2 weeks. It's definitely less than 2 weeks together, whereas we've got the opportunity to actually live this with our children, and we can take them up these absolute historical places, and go into the Amazon and do courses on foraging and things like that, and people have been going on about their education and stuff. They're going to be learning a second language. Like, no, not that many people are going to speak English when we're going quite remotely. Like, they're going to be learning history. Like, they're going to learn to self-educate. Like, we'll bring maths in on a daily basis. Like, we'll bring practical things in that you don't really get out of the school curriculum. Like, so yeah, like, buzzing for that. Obviously, it's massively out the norm. And we obviously opened on our YouTube channel, which is this one will be going. We've got that, which we want to blog everything. We want to share our experiences. I'll be honest, like, we're quite private people, to be fair, and being on camera is not the norm for us at all. And we're definitely starting to get used to it. Walking around with a selfie stick when you're walking around town, like, it's quite comical, really. But we'll get used to it. It's going to be part of our life, part of our lifestyle. We want to take you on the journey. We want you to see, like, what other parts of the world is like, and what you can do, and what you can actually do with your family. And we just want you on board, really. If travel in South America appeals to you, like, please subscribe to our channel. It'll make a massive impact on us, because it's actually going to help us out along our journey. So that's brilliant. If you're into the mental health, like I was on about earlier, find me on Instagram and go on my link tree there, and we'll go from there. There's another thing that we're doing as well. We've got a GoFundMe page at the moment. I'll see if I can link it in on this. So we got that going. Got that going for two reasons. One, so that it frees up a little bit of time for me, so that whilst before and when we're away, I've got the opportunity to actually follow through with these one-to-one appointments with the mental health. So that's a real big one, and it just initially gives me a bit of leeway to be able to do that. Secondly, obviously, we're going to be bouncing to and from. We're going to be travellers, basically, so we're only taking our backpacks. We're going to be bouncing to and from, but we want to be providing real decent content to you guys. So the remaining funds are going to help, like, with there's a kit that we're going to need, cameras mainly, potentially a drone, things like that. Obviously, the first few months for us will probably be quite nerve-wracking, because we're taking a massive risk doing what we're doing, and financially we'll be fine for a good few months, but we need to sort an income, which is what we're planning, really. But obviously it all needs to pull through, which I'm sure it will. Like, you don't commit to things like this without taking risks, do you? And you'll have to make it work. But yeah, the idea really is to blogging, really, I suppose, will be our work. We are going to do some teaching in that as well. Danny, my wife, speaks Spanish. She's going to teach some English in the schools at some point. Don't know exactly when. Other thing as well is potentially having a baby abroad. That's going to be quite comical. That'll be some good media, won't it? Like, that'll be some good footage. Yeah, like, if you can get on board, guys, follow our journey. That'd be brilliant. And we look forward to giving you a load of content.